Infinite Undiscovery is the latest RPG from Square Enix. It's developed by Tri-Ace, the same guys that brought us Star Ocean 3. And it's just not as good as Star Ocean 3 and really isn't quite up to the quality that we've come to expect from Square Enix. Infinite Undiscovery is pretty much just a mediocre RPG. It's middle of the road, and it follows a lot of the same conventions we've seen for a long time. It just never excels at any one area. You play as Capel, a simple musician who's mistaken for the hero of the land, only because they look exactly the same. And this character that you're mistaken for, Sigmund, is actually a great hero who's been cutting down these chains that have been wrapped around the moon and are drawing the power away from the moon. So of course, as you'd expect from an RPG, your little unassuming musician gets pulled into a big world of adventure where you've got to go and save the world and eventually become the hero you were destined to become. The combat system is all in real time. There's nothing fake about this. This isn't like Final Fantasy XII where you don't have to press any buttons. You will actually have to interact the entire time that you're playing, so it's just a simple button presses of A's and B's to do different combos. There's not that many to go through, and then you can hold down B or hold down A to pull off special moves as well. But you're also joined with other characters, so you're always going to be in control of Capel. He's the main character, but you're going to be able to set up your party with different guys who can help you out, and you can do things called connect actions, where you basically quote-unquote connect with another character and you can order them to do special moves. If you don't, they're just going to do kind of what they want to do. They'll heal you all the time, which is great because the menu system is a real pain in the ass since it doesn't pause at all during combat, so it's really difficult to actually heal yourself with items, but as long as your friends are alive, they're going to constantly be healing you, and they'll help you out. They're smart enough to just keep attacking enemies for you, and at the same time, you're really going to be focused on doing your own button combos. Combat does get pretty hectic, which also causes a tremendous amount of slowdowns, so anytime you've got a bunch of enemies on screen or just a bunch of characters all attacking one enemy, the game really slows to a crawl, which is unfortunate because there's no block button. All you have is the ability to parry, and to parry you have to have perfect timing, which isn't so easy when you have slowdown or other characters blocking your view, or just bad camera angle, or just too many special effects going on so you can't see when an enemy is about to strike. It's kind of a big fault in the combat system, just that inability to keep yourself safe. It's a good thing that you're healed so often by your compatriots. Of course, this is an RPG, so outside of combat, you're going to be running around through a variety of towns, talking to people and getting side quests. There's really not a lot to talk about here on the side quests. They're almost always just fetch quests. Pretty boring. It's usually going to be stuff like, hey, a little girl's lost her dog or something like that, and you've got to go find the dog and then bring it back to the girl. There's more than 50 of these in the game, but most of them are pretty terrible, so they're not really worth doing. You get small rewards for them, but really your focus is going to be on the main adventure, which is only about a 20-hour adventure at that. Now, the biggest problem with Infinite Undiscovery is that there are just way too many characters that end up joining your party. Throughout, there's going to be 18 characters that you're going to have available in your party. You can have up to 3 joining Capel on a mission, but you can also set up other groups that go around and do other parts of the mission while you're fighting. The problem is that there's no easy way in the inventory to set everyone up with the best equipment, so you've got to actually go through dozens of characters and choose all the best equipment, different types of armor, buy the armor for them all the time, constantly keeping them upgraded, constantly, knowing what their magic is. It's a real pain in the ass, and for a game that's this short, that's only, 20 to 30 hours long, there's just too much to manage, and there's real no need for it. You don't really benefit from it. It just dilutes from the stories of the characters you originally meet, because they just keep slopping on more and more characters as you go along. Now, Infinite Undiscovery isn't a terrible game. In fact, it's enjoyable. I actually like the story. I think it's pretty good, and the best part of it is that Tri-Ace didn't rely on the tried and true RPG formula of relying on the elements. So there's none of this fire, water, earth, air kind of stuff actually that you have to worry about. So that actually is a step forward. That's some progression, but the combat system just isn't that great, and the game itself just doesn't have the depth that you would want from a Square RPG, and honestly, it doesn't have those awesome mind-blowing CG cutscenes that we've all come to expect. The presentation is actually pretty lacking. So Infinite Undiscovery is really only a pickup for people who are just so in love with RPGs that they have to have everyone that comes out. But honestly, I would recommend saving your money, spending it on Tales of Vesperia, or even saving it for Fable 2 or Fallout 3 in October.